So I didn't think I'd be buying any tools for a little while. I bought quite a few with my Amazon gift cards and things like that, but then some bargains came up in the last few days which I couldn't resist, and so I didn't, and I bought them. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So I was in B&Q the other day, which for those of you who don't live in the UK is a DIY chain store brand that we have over here, and they were selling some things off cheap. So the first thing I bought was this little scalpel set. It was only, I think it was £2, so nothing, it's throwaway money. You've got the metal handles there with all the scalpel blades. I didn't have one of them, and it would come in useful for, I've needed one of these for cutting around things like gaskets and things previously. Sometimes a Stanley knife, when you use them, it can sort of push the sides sort of in a way because the blade's thicker. So I picked that up. It's £2, no sort of money at all really. And also in there were these set of combination pliers. So they're quite nice, rubber handle. The brand is McAllister. B&Q sell this brand. I wonder if they're actually going to ditch this for something else, because they were selling a lot of their tools off under that brand name. The grips are rubberized. It's a nice chunky grip. Yep, they are what they are. I've got a really old pair of these pliers, not these particular pliers, but combination pliers, and yeah, I think these will be a bit more comfortable to use, but they pretty much are what they are. And then on to good old online shopping. I was browsing the interwebs, as you do, and one thing I didn't have was a punch set like that. I've got some chisels and things. These are smaller than the chisels that I've got, so they may come in handy, but the things that I definitely will come in handy, which I've needed in the past but didn't have, well, I've got a couple actually, but nothing like a set like this. So I picked these up. These are Bergen. These were £10. The tray that they come in is also part of the retail packaging, and unfortunately what they do is there's a clear cover over this, and it's heat welded to the base of it. So I did actually crack that there just trying to get it open, and I did it as carefully as I could. So if you look at this set and you think, oh, it comes in a nice tray, just bear in mind that the clear top cover is heat welded in these 4 points, so you're going to have to be really careful to not destroy the tray taking that cover off, but that'll be a handy addition. I didn't have a pair of longer handle slip joint or water pump pliers as we know them in the UK. There's not something that I use very often, but of course because of the leverage force you have with these sort of pliers, I've got a shorter pair, which is probably about 7-8 inch perhaps. These were £4, so nothing money. They're not probably the greatest pliers in the world, but they do the job. They're okay, you know, for what I need them to do. They're fine, and if you know they do bend or whatever, £4, I mean, it's nothing, is it? It's a sandwich at lunch sort of thing. This here, this puller, hub puller, I primarily bought this for my youngest son's car. His first car, he passed his driving test not so long ago, and he bought a Vauxhall Corsa, which up until he bought that car as his first car, I wasn't overly impressed with. I really like that car, so I can see why they're so popular. It didn't start off so popular with me though, where I had to do a reasonable amount of repairs to it pretty much as soon as he'd got it, because the previous owner had neglected it quite badly. And one of the things I had to do was pull the rear brake drums off to overhaul and fix the dragging handbrake, and the hubs were a bit of a pain to get off, and I didn't really want to repeat that experience. So I bought this hub puller. These 3 tools here I bought off of the same guy who was selling them on our favourite internet auction site, good old eBay. This was £6. So if I ever have to, which I feel quite sure I'm probably going to, with cars of a certain age, it's not something I've got, it'll come in handy, and I know it's definitely going to come in handy for my youngest son's car, because those hubs I know are going to be coming off in the next few months to for a complete rear brake strip down and renew brake shoes and things like that. So yeah, £6 for that, bargain. So this here was a bit of an impulse buy. It is quite a nice set of fuel, AC and transmission line disconnects. You've got an oil cooler line disconnect there, 3/8 5/16 and a 1/4 inch. Primarily I bought it for the 5/16 because that's a popular Toyota disconnect. And the sort of lines I'm talking about is you open these out, sandwich it over the line and push it in, and it releases the catch on the fuel line so you can safely pull it off without damaging the fitting. There's all sorts in there. There's Ford and all kinds of bits and bobs. Just over £4 that was. You can't even buy a plastic set, you know, a sort of rubbish throwaway plastic set I've seen for more than that. And this is quite a nice anodised aluminium set. So yeah, super pleased with them. Also the red one, the 5/16 is a Nissan, and my eldest son is rebuilding 200SX at the moment. Nuts and bolts restoration from the ground up. He must be mental. If anyone's interested, I'll show some pictures of this car in another video. But honestly, you want to see this car, is literally resurrecting it from the grave. It was a wreck when he first got it, and he's spent a lot of money on it, but you know, you only live once, and if you want to do these things, then why not, go for it. This here is an oil pressure kit. This was £7, and the reason why it was £7 is because the case was damaged. I'm not too worried about that, because I'll probably take the lid off for it to go in the tool chest anyway. But for £7 for an oil pressure tester, I'm super happy about that. I think the cheapest I've seen these are around about £25. So this is what I mean by it was a sort of impulse buy. I saw it for that money and I thought, yeah, I'm not letting that go. So bought that, and because the seller lived locally to me, I didn't have to spend any additional on postage. I could just go and pick them up. And there's all the different fittings. There's some additional O-rings there, and the gauge itself rated up to 140 psi. It's quite a chunky old gauge, and you've got a pressure release there. I've got a what's the word? Cylinder pressure compression. That's the word. Get my teeth working in a minute. I've got a compression tester kit as well. But these are the sort of things that when you need them, and yeah, so that'll come in handy. I might sort of plastic weld that back on, or just leave it and put it in the tool cabinet as it is. So that's that. And this last purchase is not really a tool as such, but it is for the workshop. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Instagram. If you don't, there's a link on the channel, and I put a picture up the other day of the cabinets that I've put up on the wall in the workshop, and asked the question, what were people's thoughts about, should I leave them white or vinyl wrap them red to match the tool chests? And I'll be perfectly honest, I wanted them red to begin with. I just wondered what other people's thoughts were, and pretty much everybody said I'll definitely wrap them red. And the reason why I bought white doors and wrapped them red is because I couldn't find any that were sort of a toolbox red in the UK anywhere, you know, even for any money, you know, even if we were talking crazy money, I still couldn't find any. So I've bought 5 meters of vinyl wrap, and if anybody's interested in seeing that, Let me know in the comments, and I shall do a video on that. I've got 3 doors that I'm going to wrap, so they sort of, you know, make the workshop look a little bit more workshoppy, I guess. So yeah, so that is the February tool haul. I've got some other bits and bobs that I've picked up, primarily to start completing the projects that I've got going on at the moment for the MR2. I've got so many projects I'm sort of trying to get going now that the workshop's come to completion. I've got a nice space to work on. I am going to be doing a toolbox tour for all you guys and girls who have asked for a toolbox tour. I am planning on doing that hopefully within the week, and hope to get that up possibly next week. And also not sure whether I'll do it in the same video or do a separate one. I'll also do a workshop tour as well. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.